48, Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. You know that. If you're tuning in, if you're watching, it's too sweet. Anyway, my apologies for not having a Flames jersey. I actually don't have a lot of jerseys, but that's beside the point. One does what they can in moments like this, but the point remains. Anyway, I'm not gonna lie. This is a video I really didn't want to make, but with circumstances being what they are, it's one of those things that it had to get done. And having said all that, we have our second coaching casualty of the season, if you even want to call this one a casualty or by his own design. Either way, talk about it. So unless you've been living under a rock or trying to ignore the whole situation, much like I've been trying to do, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about today. Bill Peters, the now former head coach of the Calgary Flames, handed in his notice of resignation, which was very quickly accepted by the Calgary Flames. Thus, he is no longer the head coach. Instead, Jeff Ward has been named as an interim coach while the search goes for a new one, unless they decide at the end of the year to make Jeff Ward the new coach. Under Peters, in his 1 1/4 seasons with the Calgary Flames as head coach, the Flames had a combined record of 61 wins, 37 losses, and 11 overtime/shootout losses. The Flames also won their first division championship in 13 years last season, and had the best record in the Western Conference at the same time before losing in the first round of last year's playoffs. Now, I know, like I said, unless you've been living under a rock, everyone's well aware of the situation which led to Peters handing in his resignation. If you don't know, then I guess I'll spill it for you. Essentially what happened is 10 years ago, Peters was accused, and obviously this was corroborated by many people, of using racial slurs in a general ear range of a player who I'm not even going to name. I'll get into that. And he's used racial slurs in a general ear range of a player 10 years ago, and these allegations just came to light this week. With this coming out, the Flames did what they could to go on damage control. The NHL and the team had their own investigation. And since then, the Flames have done what they could to try and distance themselves from the situation, going as far as saying, hey, I think it was two games ago, telling Peters to fly back to Calgary because he is not going to be on the bench to be a distraction at this point. It got to a degree where Peters actually sent out an apology letter, to which the accuser found it misleading and insincere. Not that that makes any difference at this point anymore, because the result is now what it is. Bill Peters resigned as head coach today. And I'd imagine a lot of people are on damage control. Let's talk some more. So obviously, with circumstances being what they are, the big question here now going forward is how do not only the Flames but the NHL recover from this PR disaster? And that's exactly what it's become, is a PR disaster. I think in all, the Flames have the hardest part, and I don't think it'll be too hard now going forward to try and put this all behind them, because what's done is done. And I'm sure, given the way the Flames were slumping before this week, it was inevitably going to happen anyway. Maybe. Who knows? But it's a royal mess. A royal mess. I mean, something that happened 10 years ago. Now a guy quit his job. And he's probably going to be blacklisted from any North American hockey leagues. AHL, NHL, definitely. ECHL, you name it. He's probably not coaching there. His next coaching gig is probably going to be in Europe or the KHL, and that's just the way it's going to go. Like, there's no saving face for him at this point. A lot of people, I've noticed anyway, have been on one side of the fence or the other. I'm not picking a side on this one. I'm Switzerland right now. And it's not because I'm for or against. I'm not taking a side on this. I don't need to deal with this kind of headache. I don't need to dwell on who's right, who's wrong, any of that. I mean, what's said is said, what's done is done. Obviously, it's been corroborated by a lot of people, former NHLers, current NHL coaches. They've said this has happened, so there's no going past it. There's no trying to deny the facts. And because it became such a shitstorm on social media, you could say give it a couple years, it should die down, but will it? Will it really? Something of that nature, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it's going to be a tough thing for Peters to bounce back from, without a doubt. And probably the best thing for him going forward was to resign. Because if not, I'm sure he would have been fired with cause. Which would have meant that contract he had where he signed, he wouldn't have seen a dime of it. But overall, it is what it is. Bill Peters isn't coaching in Calgary anymore. Jeff Ward's the interim coach. And hopefully we can move forward. We can put this past us. And maybe, just maybe, the Flames won't be nearly as distracted anymore and can make that push for the playoffs like I was hoping they would at the beginning of the season. As it stands now, though, they're on the outside looking in. And it's hard to say if it's too little too late now. But the best thing for the Flames to do now is just play hockey. Try and forget this whole mess and just concentrate on the playoffs from this point out. Because going into December, you don't want to be behind the 8 ball. It's very hard to get back in front of it. And if you're behind it, you're stuck. You really are stuck. So that's episode 48 of Trev's Hockey Show. I want to thank you for tuning in. Your viewership means so much to me. Always has, always will. Don't forget, I do appreciate every time you guys tune in. It hits me right here. Right here. But if you like this video, give me that thumbs up. If you want to, we're so close to 50 now. We're just over halfway there now. Hit that little red button over there. And stay up to date with all the content I'm putting out. If you want to, you can find Trev's Trade Page on Facebook at Trev's Trade Page. You can find the parent channel on Facebook at Trev's TV, and you can find me on Instagram at Rockstar Trev TV. Moving forward, hopefully we don't have to deal with another one of these coaching situations again. I mean, there's been a lot of shade thrown to a lot of other coaches, former coaches, and hopefully those don't become any more of a distraction. I mean, for my own self, hockey's hockey. You play hockey. You don't bring politics in it. And if you do, there are other ways to do it. And I know this generation we're in now, everybody thinks the best way to go about it is social media. No. That's no. Keeping that one in. But either way, there will be more content coming. I might just do another one after this one because I don't want to leave the channel on a depressing note. So I'm probably going to do one that I've been thinking about doing for some time. It's a new segment, so I'll give it a shot. But either way, in the meantime, and in between time, be looking for more viewers from the Trev. Later.